What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. So today I am going solo from the Villa side, but I'm here with the father-in-law and his friend Andy, who joined us last season, for those of you who remember, for the Forest preview. How are you guys doing?
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Hopefully everybody's had a nice Christmas.
Yeah. Happy New Year and all that.
Yeah. 2026. God, insane. I mean, 2025 for Villa was pretty good, to be fair. Other than just narrowly missing out on the Champions League, but we had a very good run at the end of last season. And obviously we've just come off the back of an incredible run, 11 wins in all competitions on the trot. And then obviously the game against Arsenal, where we were very much brought back down to earth. Gary is AWOL, so I have no idea where Gary is. So I'm going to have to try and run this a bit solo. The starting lineups for everyone, I won't have one to show, but I can give you my starting lineup and just say it. Graham has very kindly sent me his best stab at the Forest one. Andy might disagree, so we shall see. Cool. So it's been a bit of a weird season for you guys, I think. I was personally, I was expecting you to not hit the heights you were hitting last season, but definitely doing better than what you're doing this season. However, when you've got an insane owner at the club that can just kind of do some crazy things, I'm guessing things can change at the drop of a hat.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody saw that coming. I remember the Brentford game. We went down there, and there were a few whispers about Nuno and a bit of unrest, and then within the following couple of weeks, just it's you could not have predicted what happened and the chaos that followed, and the appointment of Ange. And I think nobody could have predicted that. And all we've got now is a calm situation after the chaos, but it's still not right, and there are still huge problems within the club.
Yeah, because you guys
I think we're still trying. Sorry, Jamie. I think we're still trying to find out how we're going to play. Obviously, last season, everyone understood we were going to defend, and we were going to catch teams on the break. Got a lot of pace with Alanga, and we got Chris Wood on fire. And I think sometimes clubs change managers, and the system doesn't change that much. We went chalk to cheese, where no defence, just attack under Ange. And I still don't think we're quite sure how we're playing. And I think this game on Saturday will be really, really interesting. I think that we'll defend a little bit more. And I think we might, it's a bit controversial, but I think we might catch you guys with a sucker punch. Because
I'm just gonna shoot you down a bit there, Andy, and just say we're
please do. Yeah, feel free.
The thing is that just at home, we're just incredible at home. We've lost 2 games in the last 2 seasons at home. One against Arsenal, one against Palace, because Palace we just can't beat for love nor money. And we're just unbelievable at home. So even if you play a low block, if you play the one thing I will say is the counter, just because of our defense, especially with used to be Pau Torres, but now we've got Lindelof in because Pau Torres is out. We lack a bit of pace, but I don't think you guys have been playing quite as counter-attacking with as much pace as you were last season. So I don't see those problems.
We understand how we're playing, James. That's what I think. Yeah. I think sometimes we look like we're trying to attack, and sometimes we look like we're trying to defend. And I think it's still evolving. And I mean, I know you guys took a bit of a pounding against Arsenal, didn't you? I mean, I did watch the game, and I'm not quite sure what happened.
First half was good. We played well first half. We actually had some decent chances. I think, as Gary always says, goals change games. And I think if Ollie Watkins buries that chance, it's quite a different game. But second half, they did the same against us at Villa Park. They came out really, really fast at the start of the second half. And obviously we were 1-0 up at Villa Park. So it got to 1-1 and we managed to stem the tide. Whereas this time, once they got that second goal, it just kind of collapsed a bit. I think we ran out of legs. We lost Anana at halftime, which was a massive deal for us. Like, he's a massive physical presence in that heart of that midfield. Very good in aerial duels as well. So the second he went off, they popped Gabriel on Emery Martinez in goal from the corner. Goal. It caused us all sorts of problems from set pieces from that point on. So I think, I think we made a good account of ourselves in the first half. It was actually quite promising. We were unlucky to potentially not be ahead. But that second half, we got absolutely drubbed. I think the stuffing just got knocked out of us a bit. But I fully expect, under Emery, generally, it's been a case of if we lose a game, we don't tend to lose many on the trot.
You get a reaction.
Yeah. We tend to come back. And I think he'll be looking at, we've got Forest, Newcastle, we've got some games in Europe. But we've got an all right, February is looking very good for us. So if we can get a decent run of results here, I think it's Forest. I know we've got Everton at home as well, I think. We've got Newcastle away, and we've got Palace away. So Newcastle and Palace, I'm not sure we'll get anything from there, if I'm honest. So we need to win these 2 home games. And then February...
There's no easy games, though, James, is there?
No,
there's no easy games in the Premier League.
Yeah, but there's definitely no easy games, I would say. So bring us back onto Forest now. So from what obviously you lost to Langer, who I think was a huge lot, like just for the way you played, like it's just a massive loss. Chris Wood, I think he started the season all right, didn't he? He kind of was kicking on, continuing from last season, but then
got 2 against Brentford, didn't he?
Yeah, but he can't keep up. Personally, I never saw him keeping up the momentum that he had. So what do you think's like? Obviously, the manager's changed and stuff. But what happened at the start of the season with Nuno and stuff? What was it? Just unrest in the dressing room or in the back room that was kind of stopping you from kicking on?
Apparently, it was back room with a fallout with Edu, who came in as sporting director, and a couple of other characters are in the background. The name escapes me, who was very close to the owner. And they say, I mean, the articles you read is that Nuno fell out with him on day 1 and then came out publicly, and the owner was never going to have that. So he went. Now, whether he engineered that now, when people look back, some Forest fans say he probably did. Whichever way you look at it, none of the situation didn't help. And then, as Andy said, I mean, we'd actually played 3 games under Nuno. We beat Brentford, we drew at Palace, and then we lost a poor game at
West Ham. No, that was Ange's first game.
That was Ange's.
We lost
at home. No, we did. We lost at home against West Ham.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And then he was sacked within the week of the international break, and then Ange came in, which there wasn't a win in that period. And I think the owner looked at that and he probably held his hand up without saying it and said he'd made a mistake. But nobody wanted Ange. He was doomed from day 1. When you fans are singing after 3 or 4 games, you're getting sacked in the morning. His own fans, it was never going to fly. Then, obviously, we know the rest with Dyche, who I think calmed the chaos. But it's, as Andy said, I don't think we know. I don't think he knows what team to pick, who his best players are, who he can trust, who are his type of Dyche players. And that holds up with performances. We've had good performances against Porto, Leeds, Liverpool, Spurs, Malmo, and then Man City. But that's a bit arguable for me. But anyway, that's a different point. But then we've been very flat. Fulham, Everton twice, and almost tactically outdone against Everton twice as well, which is a bit of a worry. And Andy might have more of a view on this than me. I don't know whether this, some of the players aren't on board, some of the players can't do what they're being asked to do, or they've checked they're on a third. I mean, if your job now, James, if you had 3 managers within the last 4 or 5 months, you'd be
thinking about
unsettled. Yeah, you try to build relationships with managers and things, and so it really is a perfect storm. I don't know what you're.
I'm not sure. It links quite nicely, James, because I think when we look at the sides that we're talking about, the lineups, I'm not quite sure where Douglas Luiz fits into the Forest lineup, and I know you had him and you've obviously metaphorically turned your nose up at him. You know, Juve don't really want him. You had him, and I think he was part of a decent team, but you decided you didn't want him. And now he's with us. And I look at him, and sometimes he plays some lovely football at times. But there's a reason that you turned him down. Juve want him out, and I'm not sure he's got a long-term future with us either. I don't know if he's not got the legs and the mobility.
He's a bit of a cult hero, Dougie Luiz. Like, we absolutely loved him as a player. Just quite Rolls Royce in that midfield. Just had this little bit about him where he'd do something with a bit of flair, a little bit of silky skill. He's very, very smooth, is how we always thought he felt. We actually didn't really want to get rid of him. It was kind of, we kind of had to, financial, PSR reasons, etc.
Right.
Apparently when that all came in, we knew we were going to have to make a sale. And Dougie was identified as the one who we were probably going to need to sell because we knew they'd be interested in him. We get a good fee, his age. We had kind of cover in that area because we had Tielemans. So obviously we brought Tielemans in on a free. He was kind of deputising. He wasn't really kicking on at that point. But he had a season to kind of get up to speed while we knew Dougie was probably going in the following summer. So obviously then Dougie leaving. And to be honest, we haven't felt it because Tielemans has been that good. And Kamara is incredible beside him. By the way, we massively missed Kamara against Arsenal because he was out because of yellow cards. Same with Cash. Cash was out as well. So it was actually not a thing that we wanted to get rid of him. The biggest problem Dougie had was injuries. Staying fit was really difficult. He seemed to get going and they'd pick up a little niggle and he'd be out for like a month or two. And it was very frustrating because he was a very good player. And actually I said to Graham, when you guys signed him, I was like, that is a brilliant signing. Like, personally, I'm like, I'd love to see him in the Premier League. He's a wonderful player. You just need to keep him fit. And it looks like you've been struggling with that a little.
Yes, James. You've epitomised his time with us, where he looks okay. Oh, we might push on, and he's injured, and we've seen the same performances where he lights up, but it's inconsistent enough. And in a struggling side, I think you've got to be able to get around the pitch more. I don't know if Graham picked up on. I'm just trying to give you a feel of where we've talked about we don't quite know how we're going to play. The game that we lost to Everton, we put the second most number of crosses into the box in Premier League history. Yeah, huge amounts of crosses going into the box.
Who's getting on the end of them?
Nobody.
Well, exactly.
You don't.
Exactly,
it's not
James.
it's not like you had like Chris Wood in the air, Awani, big
Peter With.
Peter With, exactly. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, does it?
No, it doesn't. So when I think we're 52.
Yeah,
crosses.
52 crosses.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huge amount. And so when we come, be aware we're playing at home, so we're going to come up against you guys. I don't know whether all of a sudden we're going to say we tried it and it didn't work, we're going to try something else, or whether we are going to carry on. And what I'd say is they weren't great crosses. It was almost, let's put it in the mixer and let's hope something drops for us. I don't think we'll play like that against you guys. I think we will sit in that level. It's going to be a fantastic game. I imagine it'll be a great game for the neutral as well. We'll find out, won't we?
Well, with the crosses, I'm not even sure whether that was something they've worked on, whether it was a tactic, because they all went in very early. Very few. They went on the outside. Game was crying out for John Robertson to take him on, get to byline and knock it. But there was nothing. It was staggering, really, how many you saw. And they whipped it in as soon as they got an opportunity. Hudson-Odoi and Hutchinson, and there was nothing, and it carried on. This didn't just stop at half time; it carried on all the way through. And then he put Iwoni on, presumably to get on the end of it, and that was just, a little bit embarrassing for the guy, really, because he just wasn't up to speed. But back to Dougie Luiz, I agree with everything that everybody said. The times I went to Villa with you, James, when he was playing, but class player, and that's a player I'm hoping for. But it looks like we've got some damaged goods on our hand, because I did read where he'd not played since February. He didn't have a pre-season, so he's kind of playing catch up all the time. And as you say, he's got this dodgy hamstring. And is there not a clause if he plays so many games? We're obliged to sign him. So I don't know what the hell's going on there.
Okay.
Having said all that, I'm playing tomorrow to sit in there with Anderson and try and hold the fort a bit.
I think the Villa crowd would love to see him, if I'm honest, as well. I think we'd all. He'll probably be itching to be in that game.
Yeah,
so it'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see if that does happen. Cool. Okay. So quickly now onto our hat trick quiz. I haven't had a huge amount of time to prepare, because Gary usually does this bit, so I've had to try and do it on the fly. So let me just quickly look here. So first question for you guys. So this should be a nice, easy tap in. Hopefully, this should be a nice, simple one for you. So last time we played was back in. Actually, no. Let's go for this. So back in the Championship, we had that incredible 5-5 game. Wouldn't it be incredible? I mean, I would love it to be 5-4 tomorrow, but wouldn't it be amazing if it was 5-5 again tomorrow? So Tammy Abrahams banging in 4 goals against you. But there was a player who was sent off in that game. Do you remember who it was?
For us or for you, or is that just not
for you? No, you had a player sent off.
Well, I'm leaning on you, Bram, with that.
Yeah. It's after Lansbury's time, isn't it?
Yeah, he wouldn't be in it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great question.
James, we aren't going to drag that.
No,
that's all right. That's all right. Fine.
I remember watching the game in France on my mobile phone when I was working there, so I can't remember. Yeah,
no worries.
If that was a tap in, let's get ready.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I thought it was going to be a tap in, but so it was Figueiredo. Figueiredo in the
Tobias.
68th. Yeah, Tobias Figueiredo in the 68th minute with a red card. It probably would have been easier to actually go a current Villa player, ex-Forest, also scored in that game for Forest. Who was it?
Cash. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll give you that. We'll give you a half a point, because that was quite a question.
I thought that's what was coming. So I remember Cash scoring. Did he get 2? He got 2, didn't he?
No, he just got the one. Graben got 2. Also, played for Villa.
Yes. Lots of
So, back in October 1994 at Villa Park, it was a 2-0 win for Forest at Villa Park. Steve Stone scored in the 70th minute, but there was a player who scored a penalty in the 2nd minute. Cult hero at Forest. Who could that be?
It's Psycho.
It was indeed. It was Stuart Pearce with a penalty in that 2nd minute. Yeah, I'm hoping it's not it was only a 29,000 attendance game. Not very good, well-attended game.
Different days, aren't they now? It's
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. They didn't. The last time I went to Villa Park, Graham, they didn't open up that top stand in the whole 10, did they?
In the Championship, we closed it to good old Dr. Tony Jarre, having to try and cut down on costs.
It was Lansbury played. He got a couple. It was a Velios hit that goal, didn't he? Remember the
Velios got a great goal.
I think we got did we get a late winner? Or was it 2-2 or a late equaliser?
I think with Velios, late equaliser, that one.
Yeah.
That would have been back. Sorry, James. Go on.
That's okay. That's all right. So back into 14th. This is a third one. So this is your third question.
Right.
To try and bring it to 2 goals from 3. 14th of December 2024. Forest at home to Villa. Villa were 1-0 up until the 87th minute and managed to lose the game 2-1. I remember changing Henry's nappy and trying to put him in the back, and I missed that second goal. I think you came in, Graham, and went, Do you know the score? And I was like,
Yeah,
piss off.
yeah.
So I was so angry because we were in control of that whole game. I remember.
Yeah, that's right.
And annoyingly, if that result had gone right for us, we would have got Champions League.
Yeah.
But Milenkovic scored the first one in the 87th minute. Who scored the second in the 93rd?
Can you? I remember the game clearly. So I remember you being upstairs and me laughing.
Yeah.
I can remember the game.
Yeah.
It was very much on the breakaway.
I'm going to say it was a sub that came on.
Was it Alanga?
It was a sucker punch, wasn't it, for you again?
It was Alanga, yes, in the 93rd minute.
Yeah,
I just couldn't believe it. I was just like, what the hell? Absolutely insane.
That was us at our very best. That was what we did. Yeah, that's what we did to teams.
That was, yes, and we just couldn't stop it. We could not stop it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a really hard question, but I'll give you if you can get 5 either side of the correct answer. So Villa and Forest have played 134 games against each other. There's been 31 draws. How many games have Forest won?
Question.
How many
games, James, in total?
134 in total. There's been
And
31
draws.
Yeah, so there's 103 left.
Yeah,
How many games have Forest won?
25.
Yeah, I'm going to say 32.
Oh, so close, Graham. You almost creeped into that five banding. It was 40. You've actually won 40.
40.
Yeah. So we've won 63 and you won 40 of those games.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Lower, but not quite that many. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So 2 out of 4. That's not that bad. Pretty average, pretty normal. But thanks for doing that. So on to now the predictions. So we're going to the predicted lineup quickly because I've got about 5 minutes. So we're going to have to fire through this now.
Okay.
So I think you were saying the big talking points is whether Dougie Luiz plays this.
Yeah. Dominguez. We've not got many options in there, have we, now, Andy? With Sangari gone and Yates injured.
Yeah.
In that space.
I think he'll play Dominguez.
Yeah.
And I think that'll say a little bit about how we're going to set up.
Yeah.
Big disappointment against Everton. We didn't turn up, put all those crosses in, looked unstructured, and I think we would take a draw. It's not very thrilling for the fans, but I think we're a lot more structured and know what we're doing when we come to defend. It's almost perfect for us to do it because you guys are flying, despite the Arsenal result. So I can see us starting with a point, trying to keep a point, and may even sneak one. So we've got prepared for a roller coaster where you're probably, particularly first 20 minutes, we'll have a lot of the ball. And if we survive that, then I'll be really outrageous and say I think we can sneak a 1-0 win. But there's a lot of ifs and buts there.
Yeah, I think. I mean, just looking at that team, Gibbs. I mean, Hudson. Cho's an interesting one, isn't he? I've always liked Cho. He's always dangerous coming off that left hand side, cutting in, trying to bend one in the far corner. But we will see. Yeah, we'll have to see because obviously he'll be up against Cash on that right hand side. We'll also have Conser kind of like filling in a little bit. That Amari Hutchins looks a good signing, by the way. I think he's started to play quite well. I wonder how much pace has he got? Is he quite quick?
Hutchinson. Yeah, he's quick. He's not got a Langer pace, but he's very quick and he's very tricky.
Yeah, he's quick on the ball.
He'll weave his way in and out. Both wide players, Hudson-Odoi and Amari, need to be a little bit more attacking, a little bit more determined, a little bit soft. And I'm sure, again, that's something that we're probably looking at. So it's difficult. I think one of the interesting points for me, and he's getting in regular because Aina's injured, who may make a comeback, Graham. I'm sure you've read that.
Maybe on the bench.
Yeah. And played this season, was probably, well, certainly one of our better players last year. And Savona, playing at fullback, he lacks a little bit of pace. He disguises it really, really well. He often gets a late toe in, but if you get against him in a real leg race, he'll struggle. So that'll be something that I'll be looking out for. I'm sure all opposing managers are saying, "Can we get at him a little bit and run him?"
That'll be interesting. So that I think that kind of fills in some of the gaps with our lineup. So guessing Emi Martinez in goal. I think left back, I'll be inclined to say might go with Luca Dean if Hutchinson's a bit of a tricky character. Usually I like Maatsen but he bombs on the left. But if your left-hand side is a bit weak, he might actually start Sancho. And if he does that, then that's pace down our right-hand side. So he might actually look to exploit that a little bit. But we'll have Lindelof, and unless Powell's back, but I don't think he is, Lindelof and Konsa in the middle. Cash at right back. We'll then have our two pivots. Kamara will be back, like Cash is. So it'll be Kamara and probably Tielemans. I would say, unless he plays Onana with him for physicality. If he does that, then he'll have Tielemans in the 10, Rodgers on the left, Sancho then on the right, and Watkins up front. That would be my predicted lineup. I mean, he hasn't tended to change it that much recently because obviously we've been on such a good run. Don't change a winning team. There's been very small little tweaks, but I would expect it'll be really interesting to see. I think Rodgers will give Williams a bit of a game if he does play out on the left hand side. And I think Onana will be that physical presence in our midfield to try and break up Anderson and Dougie. And Gibbs White. Gibbs White's an interesting one, by the way. Just before we get on to score predictions, do you feel like the clock's ticking on Gibbs White? Do you think he stays? Do you think he's gone in the summer?
Well, his form's got to improve. He's put himself in the shot window. At the minute, he's not. He may be the biggest victim of the different managers and not knowing where he is and all the rest of it. Whether there was some anxiety getting in the England squad early on in the season, but he's just not. Even his little tricks and flicks on working, there's no end product on anything at the minute, and he's sadly lacking in confidence. To me, I think Andy, he's putting a shift in.
I do.
And he's trying, but it's just not. Nothing's coming off for him now. Whether the Spurs situation and the owner coming in and saying, no, you're not going, you're signing a big contract here, whether there's some, kind of fallout from that still, I don't know, but he's struggling to find his best form. And that's a big challenge for Dyche to try and get him back where he needs to be, where we need him to be.
If we could get him back, he could be the impetus for us to push on, because we'll talk quite comfortably about missing Wood's goals. But I think, I was cheering him on. He certainly deserved to be in the England setup and did well to force himself into the England setup playing for Forest. Not one of the big six and all that sort of stuff. But he's nowhere near that form at the moment. Nowhere near. It must be heartbreaking for him.
Yeah.
He's on top of his game. Stadium singing his name. It's great stuff. I'd actually say if Sangari hadn't gone to AFCON, he could have actually been dropped.
Yeah.
But obviously there's something in there, and it needs to ignite a little, and maybe Saturday it's there. Hopefully Saturday it's there. James, can I just ask a question about your lineup? I'm certainly not saying about Martinez not being in the lineup, and I only saw the goals for the Arsenal game. I didn't really watch the game, and I thought he could have done more with a few of them.
Yeah, he's it's interesting. Like some people think Emmy's having a good season. I think he's having a bit of a mixed season. There's obviously the stuff in the summer which doesn't look good. All the stuff around him basically apparently waiting for the call from Man U, basically telling everyone he's leaving. We haven't had a shithousery. He hasn't done any of that this season. So I think he maybe looks a bit sheepish. It'll be interesting to know, like, to see if any rumours come back up in January or anything about him leaving. We do know that we need to sell if we want to buy anyone. So and obviously we've got 2 loans in currently. So if we need to send one back, I don't know how that works with like getting another loan or whatever. Because obviously Harvey Elliott ain't working out. But he's made some match-winning saves. Like he has definitely won us probably 3 or 4 of that 11-game run. However, that first goal against Arsenal, it's bad from a corner. He did exactly the same against Chelsea. 3 days before, and I think he also did it against Burnley, if I remember rightly, as well. So we don't know what's going on with him in the air. He seems to come up, and rather than like a confident goalkeeper kind of coming up and leading with the knee, clearing everyone out, and just getting the ball, he's coming up and he's kind of like leaning back and he's reaching for the ball, which means he's not got the purchase or the strength or anything to. Because the one against Chelsea, a lot of Villa fans were saying it was a foul. I don't think it was a foul. I think the Chelsea defenders were just stood there. He was actually holding the Chelsea attackers' shirt, and he was kind of dancing back and forth. He wasn't actually like getting to the ball in any way. And against Arsenal, he was just lightweight. Like Gabriel's an absolute beast. You can't do that against Arsenal. And unfortunately, I think he crumbled a bit, under the Arsenal Emirates stick that he was getting. He looked a bit snappy at the end of the game as well. He was snapping at some of the fans. So I think Arsenal's not a good judge for performance from Emery Martinez, but he has been a little bit mixed and a little bit suspect. On that, I mean, Bizot has been an absolutely fantastic understudy. He's been a brilliant deputy. There's been a few games where Emery's actually had to pull out in the warm-up due to illness or slight niggle, or he had a back injury as well. And Bizot's actually been a very, very, very good standing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in January. I'm not saying, by the way, anyone in the comments, I'm not saying get rid of Emery Martinez. I'm just saying he's possibly one of those players that we're looking at going, is it kind of a matter of time? Is his value at its peak still? Can we get a good fee for him? He's kind of had a bit of unrest already. We know he's kind of had his head turned. So potentially he would be looked to go. But obviously he's an incredible goalkeeper, fantastic shot stopper, usually very good in the air. So we don't know what's going on there. But Emery Martinez, bit of a mixed bag this season for us.
Interesting.
So it'd be interesting to see if you do those 54 crosses.
That's why, it'd be interesting.
Brilliant. Cool. So finally, onto our predictions. So just use your fingers. We don't need to bother with a pen and paper. So home hand. So Villa, Forest. So work out which hand is which. So I'm just going to go for. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Villa win. Is what I'm going to go for. I do think you'll score, but I think we're going to come out and we're going to score goals in this game.
Right.
Thoughts on you two?
I'll go, as I've already said, 0-1.
You go for the 1-0 Forest.
1-0 Forest, yeah.
And with the lineup, with doubling up Louise and Anderson, I think we're going to be wanting to contain it, and I'm going for 0-0.
He's gone. God. That'd be horrible. You stood there in the 2 degree -1 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
it might be a classic. I don't mind it being a classic. You can hit the woodwork 3 or 4 times if you want, but we need something from that game.
We do. We need a point at minimum. Yeah, we do. So I can see it shutting up shop. Yeah,
we could have dropped behind West Ham if over the next couple of games if we're not careful, because we play them on the 6th. So if they beat Wolves and we lose tomorrow, and then we play West Ham on the 6th, that's if you're looking down. If you're looking up,
Yeah, it's very tight, isn't it? I mean, the Premier League this season's a bit crazy, but like, you're just still on the edge of that group, aren't you? Because there seems to be a bit of a group breaking away from that bottom three.
And we should have been in that. Yeah, we should have been in that group, but we're not. You know, the fact is, it's a relegation battle. You know, simple as that. At this stage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always keep one eye on Forest. I'm always personally kind of going fingers crossed. I want you to do well, but not tomorrow. Hopefully in for that 3-1 Villa win. Thanks, guys, for your time. That was really great, really, really helpful. Yeah. Thank you for jumping on. Everyone, obviously, let us know in the comments what you think. Are Villa going to do the dirty over Forest? Are we going to beat them? And also, if you are new here, please do subscribe, like. There's all that hype thing. I don't understand it on YouTube. There's some weird new things. But anyway, as always, guys, so we'll see you next time. We are going to be on for the preview of. Let me check quickly. Oh yeah, we got Palace on Wednesday as well. So me and Gary will be on probably Monday with our weekly thoughts. We might do a post match on Sunday, but we'll see. I'm still a bit ill. And so we'll see how Gary gets on as well. But we'll definitely be back Monday at least. But as always, I'm going to have to do this chant now. I've never done this on the channel. So this is going to be great. Let's see how we go. And every week we follow the boys in clouds and blue. See you guys.
Okay. Pleasure, James. See you, Andy. See you, James. Bye. Bye-bye.